Hello, I'm back again with another template as promised. This time a kind of flickering neon sign in a smoky, hazy environment. And to use it again is very simple. You can just download it from the link below in the description. The file is only less than a megabyte and you can just save it anywhere within your computer. Now to use it, let's say you're in the editing tab. You can just go to your media pool and right click and go to a new fusion composition. Just create one, name it whatever you want, and just drag it into your timeline. Now if you already got like a video clip or a text clip or maybe a clip of a still frame, still image, you can just drag your playhead over it without having to create a new fusion clip. But since here I haven't got any clip, I just have to create a new fusion clip, drag my playhead over it and just go into the fusion tab. Okay, now all you've got to do is find the file where you saved it. So here I saved it in this folder, and you can just simply left click and drag it into the fusion page. And that's it. All you've got to do now is just connect the final node, which is this transform node, to the media out. And you have a look. Now you've got your neon glowing in the hazy, smoky environment. As you can see, the background is actually transparent, so you can actually put it over any video or any text or any picture you want. And just to see it better or clearer, I'm just going to turn off the transparent checker over underlay so you can see it clearer. There you go. You've got your flickering neon sign. And to change the text, you simply go to the first node and just type in whatever you want here. And you can also change the shading, so you can have it like as a solid. Here, so you just have a solid text, or you can have just the outline, and you can also change the color, so you can change it to whatever you want, maybe like a blue or something, and there you go. And obviously you can also change the color of the haze or the smoke. So here I've got it the same color as the sign, so if you go into the color corrector node here, you can change the color of the smoke as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it of how to use the text template. And now if you just want to use it, that's fine. But just for anyone else who's wondering how it was made, I might just, from now on, I'll just go into a bit of an explanation of how it was created. And again, so if you're not interested, you just want to use it, feel free to download it and use it. But for anyone else who's just wondering how it was made, yeah, I'm just going to start explaining it from now. Okay, so let's have a look at the first node. The first node I created was just a text node, so not much explanation needed here. You can just go in, select, type whatever you want, use the font that you want, and select its color. And for the shading, I just made it so it's only the text outline. So instead of like a solid sign, I just changed it to the text outline. But of course, you can have it as a solid as well if you want. From there, I plugged it into a soft glow, just to give it a little bit of a glow. And of course, the setting here, you can choose it however you want. So the threshold, I have it at 0, so the entire text glow, no matter how bright it is, it will just have a glow. And the gain, obviously, is how brightly it kind of like glows. And the glow size is how much the glow kind of spread around. So the first glow, I kind of have it quite close to the original text, just to have that inner like bright glow. And then I plugged that into another second glow. For this one, I have the spread, the glow size, kind of like slightly larger, so you can see like it's spreading out a bit more. And for the gain, I actually applied like a shake to it, so it kind of you have that flickering effect, so the brightness is not constant. And it's quite easy to do. Just right click here on the keyframe button, go to modify with, and apply a shake down here. It's grayed out here because I've already applied it. So if you go into the modifier, you'll see that I have it shaking between a minimum of 1.7. So the minimum brightness would be 1.7, and the maximum brightness will be 2.0. So it's going to shake between these two ranges. So it's kind of like bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark, kind of flickering. And the smoothness, I have it quite low, so it's like flickering, quite jittery. So if you have the smoothness quite high, it will be more like a fade. So it will fade from bright to dark, kind of softly and slowly. So from this node, I actually split the logo into two parts. One part runs upward and go through these nodes to create the smoky or the hazy bits. And the other part just runs straight through. So that the part that runs straight through to the merge node is basically just the inside, the original neon. And the top part is what creates the haze. And I basically merge the top part with the glowing neon sign, the original glowing neon sign. So you have the neon sign and the smoke combined together. And for the merge, I have the original neon sign as a foreground, so it's actually on top. So if I right click here and connect it to the merge node, I connected it as a foreground. It's a green arrow, and the top part where basically it's the smoke, I connected it as a background, so it's actually underneath the sign. And for the merge node, I set the merge or the apply mode as green. You can have it as normal as well. So if you have it as normal, it's just going to be the original neon sign like stacked on top of the smoke, right? But if I want it to blend together a bit more, so I use the screen blending mode. It's basically the same as in Photoshop or After Effects and things like that. So the screen blending mode is just going to apply, like add the brightness of both to each other and kind of just, I feel it blends together a bit better. Now let's have a look at how I created the smoky, hazy part. So you can see the smoke kind of flowing around. To do that, it's actually quite simple. I use this original neon sign and I put it into another glow node. So if you have a look at this glow node, you can see that it's basically just the glowing part. And for this glowing node, I actually use the second glow node. So if I press Shift Spacebar, here you have a box to search for the different effects. If I search for glow, there's actually 3 of them. I actually use this middle one, so this glow here. And the reason I use this particular glow is because you can choose which part to output. So normally it will be the glowing image. So this is like the original neon sign plus the glow on top of it, right? Or you can choose just the glow alone. So this, I only have the glowing part. Or I can just use the shiny region. The shiny region is basically where the source of the glow. So whichever part that's bright enough for the glow to have an effect, it will show up here. But obviously here I have it like the threshold really low. So as you can see, the shine threshold is quite low. So basically the entire sign is bright enough to emit a glow. So you just see the entire sign. So as I want the haze or the smog or the smoke to only show up where the glow is, I'm just going to apply a glow alone. So I can only just see the glowing part. And then I obviously select the shine threshold to be quite low, so you get a lot of glow. And then the spread, you can choose like how much you want the glow to spread out. And basically wherever this glow is spread out, you will see the smoke. And the rest you can also choose, like if it's how high you want the glow to be. HV ratio is basically horizontal to vertical ratio. So you can have the glow kind of spread vertically more, or you can have it spread more horizontally. That's up to you. You can just choose whatever you want. And now that I have this glow part, I'm just going to plug it into a fast noise. And now we have basically a mask for the fast noise. So you can only see the fast noise where the glow was. So if I just turn off the transparent background, now you can only see this fast noise wherever that glow was. Now, if I just unmask it and have a look at this node, basically this is just the fast noise I created. So you can, you can copy these settings here if you want, but basically you can just change the detail, the contrast, the brightness, and the scale until you get a noise pattern that you're happy with, that you feel it looks a bit like a smoke or haze. And then obviously you only want the smoke to show where the sign is glowing. So you're just going to plug this glow node into the mask. So basically you just right click here and drag it in and use it as an effect mask. So now you can only see the fast noise wherever this glow part was. Now there are just 2 more important points to make. First one is the reason you're seeing the noise kind of move around is because I set the cease rate right here. The cease rate is basically how much like the noise move around. So I felt 0.09 is about the right amount. So just like move around slow at the right speed basically. And the other thing is, for the effect mask, if you go to the fast noise node and go to the setting, you can see the channel that I use is luminance. The default one normally will be alpha. So I use alpha, you get an output like this. Basically what alpha is it will have a look at the glowing image. So if I turn on the transparency, you can see that the image is basically a dark outline where the original sign is. and a bright kind of like semi-transparent area where the glow is. Now if you use alpha, it basically have a look at the image and say, okay, wherever the image is solid, the smoke will be fully visible, and wherever the image is partially visible, the smoke will also be partially visible. So obviously if we plug in this image here, it's going to go, okay, these outlines are completely solid, so the smoke will be completely solid there, and for wherever the semi-transparent glow is, the smoke will be kind of partly visible. So if I turn off the underground, you can see that outside of the line, you can kind of semi-transparent smoke that you can see. You can kind of barely see it. Obviously, that's not what we want. What we want is to not see these outline, but mainly just see the smoke wherever the glow is. So I changed the channel from alpha to luminance. Luminance is basically brightness. So wherever the glow or wherever this image is brightest, that's where you will see the smoke. So obviously the glow is the brightest part, so you will see the smoke there. But the outline here, although it's solid, but it's black, so it's very dark, so you're not going to see any smoke there. So when you plug it in, you're just going to see the smoke wherever the image is bright, and that's pretty much it. And I just reduced this slider slightly just to see it like clearer, just to make it a bit brighter. Okay, so from there it's pretty easy. I just plugged this fast noise, so now we have this smoke effect. I just plugged it into a color corrector so I can change its color. So have a look. Basically, you can change the smoke to whatever color you want. And then once I've selected the color that I want, I plugged it into the merge node to merge it back. So you can merge it back with the original neon sign. And as I mentioned before, I used the screen merge apply mode, so it kind of blends together a bit better. And from there, I just plug it into a transform node. This is just basically to move the sign around if you want, and to increase its size or whatever you want to do. And then finally, I just plug into the media output, and you have this final result right here. Of course, as always, this is only just the base template, so you feel free to play around with it with the settings, and of course you can add like extra nodes wherever you want, just to see and experiment what kind of things you can create on top of this. You can even combine it with the previous template that I've shared. So let's just drag that in. So here I've got the previous template. It's the cyberpunk like glitch text. So I'm just going to drag it in, and now we have a look at it. This is the other template that I've shared. So it's like a glitching cyberpunk thing. Of course, this I've already explained as well, like how each of the nodes work and how to use it and stuff. So maybe you can have a look at that video to understand it better. But here I'm just going to take the fast noise and the displace node. These two nodes are basically the thing that's driving the displacement. So maybe I can just copy it and just paste it after my text. So instead of having like a static glowing neon sign, I can have like a glitching neon sign in a haze. So I'm just going to drag these here, hold shift down and place it in between. And now if I just have a quick look, now my sign is glitching. So if my sign is glitching, it's going through the same nodes, it's going to output a glitching neon sign in the middle of a hazy smoke basically. And I'm just going to turn this second node off. Maybe it's a bit taxing on the machine. And you have a glitching neon sign. Of course, again, you can modify it further. For example, you can add a mosaic blur here. Oops, sorry. Just to change the pattern of the glitch, and you can change the pattern of the noise as well. So here I have the mosaic blur to make it more kind of like jagged and more like have the square pattern. I can increase the pixel frequency, and maybe the smooth strength I just reduce, so it's like a jagged square pattern. And also I can maybe increase the brightness of the fast noise just to make it glitch a bit more, and increase the contrast. And you can just play around with these as much as you want just to get like different glitching effect. And this is just like an idea, or maybe just an example of how you can modify things and just play around and get even more advanced and just interesting template. Okay, that's pretty much it for today, and I hope it was somewhat useful, and just enjoy the template. Bye.